around us. Right, here we go. Evening, everybody. Welcome to my Wednesday night Facebook Live. My name is Stacey Marsh. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator here in the UK. If you're watching on YouTube, hello to you there. Tonight we are, what date are we today? We are the 30th of June. Where is this year going? Still feels like it should be at least February, just only February. This year definitely feels like it's flying past way too quickly. Anyone else feel like that? Lots of people joining tonight. All from a chilly great yarn for old Bev, you're on holiday. I'm gutted you've got damp weather, bless you. I hope it perks up for you soon. So today is the end of June. It also means that it's the end of the mini catalogue, the January to June mini catalogue. Today is the last chance you can order from it. And I'm going to do a little farewell to what is probably my favourite product. So you probably won't be surprised what I end up crafting with, but I'm going to show you a really cute technique, so I hope you like it. Evening to you, Sophie, my British friends, that's really sweet, bless your heart. So we will make a start. Feel free to chat along, to comment, ask questions, tell me if I'm doing something wrong. I've charged my phone, so hopefully we won't have any overheating, any battery dying. The internet looks good. The husband's been told to stay off the computer, so hopefully we're all good. I need to order my new phone. The one I want is out of stock, so I'm just waiting for it to come into stock, and then hopefully I'll have a new phone and we won't have any more IT dramas, fingers crossed. So let's make a start. I'm going to flip my camera around and show you my desk, and then we will do a little bit of crafting, so I hope you're sitting comfortably. Here we go. Let's just get my camera all lined up. I'm just gonna, I was filming tutorials yesterday, so my camera is just ever so slightly not adjusted. Okay, so tonight I am going to be, and someone's already said it, surprise, surprise, we have our snails. Oh, I can't believe they're disappearing from tomorrow. So for those of you that don't know, the Snailed It stamp set was in the January to June mini catalogue. It finishes tomorrow, it finishes tonight. At 11 o'clock, so until then you can order it, but after 11 o'clock tonight they are gone forever. So I feel like I need to play with it one last time, give it one last hurrah. It really is my favourite thing in the mini catalogue. I just adore those little faces. I've made loads of things with it, but they just need one more little outing, I think. So I am going to be making something with the snails. I shared yesterday this cute little box and this even cuter little card. Okay, so it's a very, very sweet little note card, and the box, you'll notice, has got this lovely scalloped edge as well. Now I have, oh, my twine's come undone. I'm just going to take that off because it's very fiddly. So this lovely fluted edge, so I'm going to show you how I made that. Both of those started with these dies. So just plain old single layer dies. So where did they come from? Let's find that out first. So they are from the Colour and Contour bundle in the annual catalogue. You'll find it on page 98. And I think these dies are quite hidden. Unless you really look for them, they don't really appear. So you've got this beautiful stamp set, and then you've got this stunning set of dies. So you get in there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 dies, but 6 of them are all lovely label style dies. Here they are, and then you get one little fluted edge. So the dies are pretty impressive. This one is quite large. So those are the dies. Now I won't lie, I actually only bought the dies, I didn't buy the stamp set. I regret it because I like the stamp set now. But that's on page 98. So the dies on their own, I believe, page 158 as well. The dies are here. So you can see them again. So page 98 and 158. The dies on their own are £33, but I think they're quite useful. And yeah, I'm going to show you how to make a card out of one of them and a box tonight. I'm going to change the style of it, of course, because we're using snails, but I hope you like it. So let's make a start. I've got my measurements. Look, I've been quite prepared tonight. I actually did some preparation. I've got my measurements. So let's start with the card, shall we? I haven't even changed my grid paper, look. But it's not too mucky tonight, so I hope you forgive me. Evening to you, Chris. Thanks for joining us. Let's grab some cardstock. So I have cut these out of thick basic white. Okay, so just makes it that little bit more sturdy than the regular basic white. So I'm just going to pop out all those little pieces from our scallop edge. Okay, so to start making the card, where is my lovely little card? Here. So we've got our flat die, and then what I've done is I have measured the inside panel. Okay, so just in here. So I want it to be ever so slightly smaller because it sits just in that little area at the back. Okay, so I've measured that inside panel and I've just added a little strip to it to then make it fold over. Okay, so it's quite straightforward, but it's quite clever. So my little measurements, I've got my basic white, my thick basic white. Okay, and I need a piece that is 9.2 centimetres by 12 centimetres. So I will put the measurements for this on afterwards. So 9.2 by 12. Okay. So as you can see, that's just a bit wider. Okay, so all I'm going to do is I'm going to pop it back in my trimmer, and I've got the short edge at the top, and I'm going to score at 1 centimetre with my scoring blade. Okay, evening Wendy, evening Simone, and evening Caroline. Oh, your first time being able to watch it. Oh, welcome. Very warm welcome to you. So that is my edge that I'm going to create the card with. So I'm just going to fold that over. Ideally I want a bone folder. There's one. Give that a nice little press. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some tape or some Seal Plus just down this edge here. I'm going to use tape. I must admit, tearing tape is still my go-to adhesive when I want something really strong. I just find it easier to work with. There's a lot more control with it. I really want to like the seal even, but yes, snail still has my heart. Okay, so just pull that off, and then what you're going to do is onto the other side. You'll find with the dies there's a real soft edge, and then you've got more of a kind of a rough edge. So the rough edges are back. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to line that up inside that gap like so, and there we have it. It's now a card. Now what I like about this card is it could quite easily be a landscape card, or it could be a portrait card. And you could even do this with some of your other dies that you've got. You could do it with the stitched rectangles. You could make some really funky little note cards out of some smaller dies. So that is our card base all done. And then all I've done with my card is I've just added in some DSP, Designer Series paper, and then my little pattern. So for the DSP tonight, let's use, surprise, surprise, let's use some Pattern Party. Because we all love a bit of Pattern Party, don't we? And I know the piece I want to use. So the Pattern Party DSP is this lovely set here, which is a host item, which means you can actually earn it for free with a qualifying order. And the qualifying order is £150. If you place an order for £150, you can order this for £2. So it really is quite reasonable. There's the piece I want, that one. Okay, this lovely little stripe. Gotta love a stripe. So all we're going to do is we're going to cut a piece that's going to sit inside there. Okay. So that measures 8 centimetres by 11.5. That's quite an easy measurement, isn't it? Fabulous idea, thank you, Wendy. 8 centimetres by 11.5. Did I say 11.5? I did indeed. 11.5 centimetres. Okay, so I don't really want to take too much away from the edge of the card. I don't really want to build it up too much. I'm going to keep my design quite simple, just with a little bit of DSP and some sentiments, and of course that cute little snail that we'll stamp and deal with shortly. So that is the basis of my card. Okay, so let's do a little bit of stamping. Is that thick or is it thin? I've got some scrap card in my little stand behind me. So here we go. Let's bring in our snails for one last time. Oh, I think I'm going to miss the snails. Luckily, the snails belong to my daughter, Florence. This is what she chose from the catalogue this time. So they'll be staying in my craft room for a while. So let's give this a little stamp, shall we? And I know a lot of you have bought this as well, so hopefully you will carry on giving your snails a nice little outing. And I just want to, oh, the stamping is terrible. Much better. Okay. So for our snails, let's get a little bit of smoky slate for their bodies. Okay, so I'm going to start with the dark. You've seen me colour these hundreds of times, but I do love them. So I'm just starting with the dark. And I do find that I like to use the finer tip when I'm colouring. Rather than the, even when I'm, rather than the felt tip end, which is this end. So now I'm going over with the light. I might need the felt tip end on this one because he is rather large, this one. I'm just going over the edge between the light and the dark just to blend them in. Just until you're happy with it. And the good thing about the blends, if you keep going over them, it just gets darker and you build up a real depth of colour. Okay, now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use a colour lifter, and if you've got the blends, you absolutely must have a colour lifter. You get such a good technique, such a good effect with the colour lifter. So I want to create a little bit of a grubby looking snail as such. So now I'm just going to, with the fine end, just add in a few dots. And what this does is it kind of just removes the colour. It does what it says it's called. It's a colour lifter. So it gives you a bit of like a bleached effect, which I think looks really nice with these snails. Okay. There we go. So if I lift that up now so you can see it, can you see the effect that's given the snail just here? And just here. I think it really looks fab, and you can keep doing that as much or as little as you like. Okay, so I'm happy with that. Now, what colour should we do our snails? Let's do, we've got a lot of yellow on there, haven't we? And we've got some blue. Why don't we do, what are the colours on the DSP? Let's see what it says. So on the backs of your designer series papers, in case you don't know this, and in the catalogue you've got this sheet. Okay, so this tells you the name of the DSP, and then just down here under it tells you the colours. So you've got Cajun Craze, Cinnamon Cider, oh no, it's not even that, that's the Bloom Where You're Planted DSP card. Here's another pack. How funny. Okay, right, here we go. I thought there wasn't many colours. Pattern Party DSP. We've got Crushed Curry, Flirty Flamingo, Granny Apple Green, Misty Moonlight, Pale Papaya, Petal Pink, Pool Party, Poppy Parade and Whisper White. Okay, so that's on the back of all your packs of DSP. The information is also in the catalogue as well. So you can just double check that you've got the colours that you need. So let's go with a little bit of Pool Party, shall we? Can't beat a bit of Pool Party. So I'm just going to go, this is the light, so we want the light first. I'm just going to colour the shell with the light, and then using the dark, the fine tip of the dark, I'm just going to follow the swirl of the snail's shell, because that's what we want to kind of emphasise, don't we? And that's what I think about when I colour, with the, especially with the dark shade. What part of the snail do I want to emphasise? And that's where I start. Let's just fill in with the light, and that looks good. And then if you really want to emphasise that, all you do is you take your colour lifter again, and then you go in with the swirl, and it will take the colour out. Okay, so it will need a second to kind of dry and settle, but you can just see the shading on that snail. Okay, so let's do this one. Should we go with a yellow? Let's go with a Daffodil Delight, shall we? Pool Party and Daffodil Delight. So I've got the light shade, and this snail's got ever so slightly a different pattern on the shell, but I'm going to ignore it. Okay, so then now with the dark, and I find with some of the blends there's a real contrast in colour between the light and the dark, and some not so much. Okay, and then I'm just going to add a little bit of dark in there. Okay, we've got some parcels to colour in, so let's grab some Flirty Flamingo. We're going all out with the colours tonight. A little bit of Flirty Flamingo. Like so. And let's have a bit of Granny Apple Green. So we've got a real super duper colourful snail. Wrong end. Like so. And then over here we just need to colour in the heart on that envelope, which we'll do in Flirty Flamingo. So let's just pop those blends up out of the way. We need to cut these out. There are dies, so I should use the dies, but actually we want to cut this off. So let's just fussy cut. Sometimes it's easier to fussy cut. And I can't remember which one of these is reduced in the last chance sale. I can't remember if it's the snail stamp set or the dies. I think it's actually the dies that are reduced. So you could pick these up for quite a bargain. Okay, so I'm just following this round, leaving a little border. So how is everyone whilst I'm doing a little bit of fussy cutting? Tell me something good that's happened this week. Careful not to cut the eyelashes off. I've done that once or twice. Almost there. My husband was very, very happy yesterday with the football. Very, very happy man indeed. Oh, look. Doesn't she look lovely, our little snail? Okay. My son, his wife and my granddaughter arrived today for a few days with us. Beach tomorrow. Oh, Wendy, that sounds amazing. Oh, have the most wonderful time. The beach sounds fab. We have got here at the moment rain and wind, and it feels like autumn. So I hope you've got better weather than us. You certainly wouldn't think it's summer here. I spent the day with my mum today, which was rather lovely. We didn't do anything specific. We stayed in. We had a nice lunch. Emily played. I took my laptop with me, so I did a bit of work. Mum worked. We watched some tennis. It was just lovely. Horrible weather here too. You did a fire today. It's mad, isn't it, Sophie? How are we doing this in June? Your son and his family moved house yesterday. Oh, that's exciting, Sue. Very exciting. Wendy, it's so hot today. 30 degrees in my kitchen and over that in the conservatory. Right, we're all going to Wendy's. Party at Wendy's. Okay, so those are our little snails. But remember, we want one for our box. So we need to decide which one we want to go on there. And we'll decide that after. So let's put the card to one side. And we can move on to our lovely box. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do, excuse the state of my trimmer. We've had sun in Manchester today. Right, we need to go north. Everyone, pack a bag. Let's go north. Let's go on a little road trip. If only we could, eh? So, we're going to create our lid. And our lid has been created with the die. So, quite simply, we're going to do 4 score lines. We're going to line it up over here at 2 centimetres. And we're going to score. And we're going to repeat that same measurement on all 4 sides. And you can do this with any of your rectangular dies to make yourself a box, or in our case, a lid of a box. And then, okay, so that's it. We can put our trimmer to one side until we make the base. And what we're going to do is we are going to do some cutting. So we are going to cut here and here, and we're going to repeat the same up there. But before we do that, we're going to notch into this slightly. So what you're going to do is you're going to notch in there, and then you're going to do a big notch over here. And you want to cut most of that scallop off, because when you build your box, you don't really want to see too much scallop here. And I'll show you that in a bit more detail when we put the box together. Okay, so we're going to notch out most of that scallop on the edge. Okay, here we go. And then if you hang on to the end of this demonstration, I have a little surprise for you all, but you have to watch till the end. Okay, right, so I've notched out all of those. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold all of those score lines over and give them a really good crease with my bone folder, because that's the trick when you're doing anything 3D, to make sure your score lines are super crisp. You get more of a professional looking finish. I say professional, but you know, you get more of a neater looking finish if all your score lines are really crisp. Okay. Janice, I'm in Canada and we've been hogging all the heat. Happy to send it your way. It was way too hot. Yes, please, Janice. Send us some heat, some sun, and anything else that's lovely. I'm a little bit bored of cold and wearing a coat now. And the school runs are pretty poor in the rain. So now I'm going to use my tape runner now. The reason for that is it's just a bit fiddly with the tear and tape. So this is the front of the top of my box. So I want to put my my tape runner on the four corners as it's facing us. Okay. Let's just put a little bit on. Oops. Like so. And then what we're going to do is we're going to line up this edge here, this straight edge, the edge that we've not notched into, with this edge. So you're going to tuck it round, and then all the scallop has disappeared. If you'd left that scallop on, you'd see it here and it would just look quite scruffy. But because we've notched most of this edge out, you can't see it. And there we have our box lid. Let me know what you think. You watch, tomorrow we'll have your weather. Oh, I'm sorry, Wendy, if you do. So that is our box lid, lovely. Now we can put together the rest of our box. I'm sticking with my thick basic white. I've got my measurements over here. So I need a piece that is 13.7 centimetres by 17. So I need a fresh piece of basic white. I should have cut that a different way. And this is the thick basic white as well. So I'm going to do 13.7 this way. Okay. And then I'm going to give it a little turn. Line it up at 17 centimetres. And cut. So that is my piece now. That is 13.7 by 17. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to score. I want it to be the depth of the box to be 14 centimetres. So I am going to score on all four edges at 4 centimetres. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay. So now if you put the lid of your box over that centrepiece, it is just ever so slightly bigger. And all I've actually gone up by is 2 millimetres from the box to the lid. So now I'm going to fold all of these over, give them a really good score. And then we can do some cutting. Welcome to, a few people have just joined. Hello to you all. So now what we're going to do is we're going to cut the same way that we did with the lid, the pieces to tuck under. And I always like to do the same pieces. I always like to do those pieces there and those pieces. Some people will do kind of alternate, but I like to keep things nice and simple. So now I'm going to cut along this edge nice and straight. I'm going to notch into that and notch out this side as well. And you can do as big a notch as you fancy. You won't see it, but it just gives you a neater looking end result. Okay, so straight on that line, notch into it, and then notch out at the edge. So you've now got that sort of effect at the end. So let's just repeat at the other end. I also like things to be symmetrical, so this makes me feel happier. Like so. Just like that. Okay, so that is now how we put our box together. So in exactly the same way as we've done the lid, we're going to put our tape on the 4 corners. Okay, and I'm going to use my tape runner. I call it a tape runner because I always forget, is it a seal? Is it a snail? So tape runner is just easier. I love making boxes, so effective and appreciated by recipients. It really is, isn't it? It's lovely. And the fact that everything coordinates is just a Brucey bonus, really. Okay, so that is our tape. Now what we're going to do is we're now going to again line up this straight edge here with this straight edge here. So by notching into that means that it all just tucks nicely behind. You don't have any overhang at the top, and it looks nice and neat when you look at it inside as well. Okay, repeat the other end. 1, and then 2. So there we have our box, and there we have our lid, and I think that looks really sweet in the white. It'd be great for a little wedding favour. Really, really nice. I can't wait to make these at Christmas, which is just around the corner, or the catalogue is anyway. So we now have to decorate our box. So we've got our stripy paper, and actually my stripy paper isn't long enough, so let me just get another piece. If I've got the stripy. Let me just break into another pack. So this pack is a whopper, and I'm so glad it's a whopper because I've used so much of it. There he is there. Right. So we now need to cut our pieces. We want one for the top and we want one there. Now I want my lines to be horizontal still, so I'll be able to get away with the ends from this little piece. Oh look, it's just too small. So what I've done is I've measured the end panel. So the end panel is about 5.7 by 4. So all I've done is I've taken it down by 0.5 centimetre. So I've got 3.5 centimetres by 5.2. Okay. So we want the width to be the height to be 3.5. So we want one of those and one of those. And then we want 5.2. And 5.2. So those are then our pieces for the end. Oh look, and it's the paper that I've used on the other side of the box. How funny. On my original box. So I used the black and white spot on the original, and now I'm using that, the reverse side. Oops. The other thing you can do is you can put these pieces on before you assemble the box. Okay, so we've got that now like so. We now want to cut our other pieces. So we want the stripes to be horizontal. So I'm going to pop that in my trimmer, and I'm going to cut a strip that is 3.5 centimetres long. And then let's check our measurements of here. So our measurement is 8.5 centimetres. So now let's go to 8.5. We want 2 pieces. And we'll save that piece for a rainy day. Like so. Okay, so that is our little box. We need a piece for our lid. Oops, it's just got caught slightly. That's better. Doesn't that look nice with the scallop? Okay, and our piece for the lid is 5.5 by 8.8. So I bet I can't use any of these pieces. So I could use, no, I couldn't get away with that piece. So let's do 5.5. And I will use all of these pieces on another card. Don't panic that you think, oh my gosh, look at the way she's cutting that GSP. This project is fabulous, Stacey. You might just have to steal this. Please feel free to steal away. That's what it's all about, isn't it? And there we go. So there is our cutesy little box made. Okay, so we just need to add our decoration. So now we need to decide. I actually think I'm going to put this one here and this one on here, because this little guy, she's a bit big for that and he's a bit small. So let's have them like that. And let's go for some circles. You know me, I love a circle. Circles make me very happy. So layering circle dies. Let's grab one of these. So I've just got a circle die. This is roughly, let's measure it. This is about 7 centimetres at its widest point. So let's cut 2 of those. And I'm using thick basic white because that's what we've used for the project so far. So I'll just wheel this through on my machine next to me. One circle, and we have 2 circles. Okay. So what I like about this is that it's a similar sort of layer style to that. So let's just cut a little bit off. And we can stick this down. That's nice. So yesterday we did I attended a team event, a team that my team that I fit into rather than my team that I lead, with Michelle last, and we did a partial die cutting technique class, which was really fun, and it's definitely changed the way I look at my die cuts, my dies. Okay, so we've got our little circle there, we've got our little snail here. Let's stick the snail down. So we can either put that there or put that there. I think she looks better over here, and then that gives us room here for our sentiment. Okay, for this one actually we probably could have done with a smaller circle, couldn't we? But let's make that fit, shall we? So let's cut a bit off like so, and let's cut a bit off there. So this is all being done by eye. Actually no, let's line it up 2 centimetres and cut it off. Oh, I like that. That's quite cute, isn't it? Let's stick that down. You all still there? You are all still there. I'm impressed. Like so. Pop our little snail on. And then we've got room for our sentiments. It's coming together quite nicely, I think. And let's decide what sentiment we're going to have. So shall we take one from this box, or shall we mix and match? Let's mix and match, because why not? Let's go for my new favourite, which is this one, which I think looks really nice with this set. Let's go. I think hello is going to be... No, we could do something quite nice. We could put the hello like that. Yeah, let's do it. Okay, so let's pop this on a block. Still here, about to see about my pre-order, or I did mine earlier, and so much to choose from. So for those of you that don't know, the Christmas catalogue is available to pre-order from tomorrow as a demonstrator. The Christmas catalogue that starts on the 2nd of August. I've seen it, I've fallen in love with it, and I've chosen what I want, just need to pop it all into the system. Can I do the top lid using the Sweetly dies rather than your one you used? So Louise, it will work, but the top Stitch So Sweetly die is a lot smaller. So if I show you the difference in size, you'll be able to get a bit of a feel for it. If I can find my Stitch So Sweetly. Here they are. Okay. So this is the biggest Stitch So Sweetly, and this is the size of the contour. So it's quite a lot bigger, quite a lot smaller, sorry, roughly 3 centimetres smaller one way and 2.5 the other. So your box will be, it will still work because it's exactly the same die shape or style. It will just be a lot smaller, so just be mindful of that. So let's do that there. Let's do some heat embossing. You know me, everything needs a little touch of heat embossing, and I don't think that stands out enough. Right, just going to see what my battery's doing. And we're not about to overheat. No, we're good, we're good. We're good. Right, so. This is white embossing powder. Another to add to the ever-growing list, and even worse now I've seen the new mini. Oh, it is a vicious circle, isn't it? But as long as you're using it and you're loving it, then that's all that matters. Okay, so let's give this a little heat. Nice and set. just going to trim that down a little bit more. Oh no, not Christmas yet. We have autumn and Halloween first. Do I know why the men's DSP wasn't continued to the new catalogue? That is a brilliant question, Chris. I do not know the answer, but I can surmise. So usually, Stampin' Up! Don't carry designer series paper over from one catalogue to the next. It's very, very rare that they do. So that's why, it went very, very quickly, didn't it? It was gutted. I didn't even get any. I had 3 packs on my list for customers, and I didn't even get any because by the time the system had come back up again after it crashed, it had all sold out. So sadly, the designer series papers they are amazing, but you just can't rely on them going into a sale or carrying over. So if you love them, always buy them whilst they are available, because they will disappear. So that's our little hello there. Now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to add a little bit of dotting around this die to just take away that stark white outline, like so. Especially in the DSP sale, yes, of course. There was another question. Oh my gosh, it's been a year today since I joined. Wow, that's amazing, Louise. Congratulations. I hope that your upline did something special for you. A year is always a massive achievement. There you are. So that is my card finished. Inside, I'm going to leave that blank. What I will do for the inside of my card, just to thicken it up a bit, is just add in an extra layer. So on that one, I added in a little bit of stamping. This one I'm going to leave blank because it's a great little card to send on. And then here I'm going to use this You've Got Mail. So I'm bringing my black card back in. And I've got here. So I just want the sentiment, so I'm just going to add my Versamark to the top. Your first anniversary present should have been with me today, but my delivery has been rescheduled to tomorrow. So it will be here tomorrow, my dear. There we go. Give that a little set. Don't drink, don't smoke, so I just spend on crafting, so it's all good. Got to have something to make me smile. Absolutely. If you find something you love and you enjoy, then you are a very, very lucky person. Okay. So let's just trim that down a bit. There's a lot of people in this world that don't have something that makes them smile in the same way that we have. So we are very lucky. So we've got You've Got Mail here. Let's pop that on. And you got your first customer order, even better. Brilliant. Okay, You've said me. Yes, my darling. So you had your first anniversary last week on the 14th. And of course you get an anniversary gift, but it's a surprise. And it's coming in the mail. Well, it arrives here tomorrow, so let's just add this dot in. I should have done this before I put it on, but I hadn't decided this was what I was going to do. So let's just hope it works. you don't have one of these pens, I highly recommend you getting one. They are £2.75 and they are brilliant. They're brilliant for adding extra detail. If you make a mistake with your stamping, you can add it back in. And they're just fab. So let's have some little sequins. So these are the Artistry Blooms, or they might be an old one. Let's add some of these, and they come in at the most beautiful colours. Let's go for this nice red, shall we? And they are adhesive backed, so you don't need to worry about getting into a mess with your glue. Lovely. Okay, so let's put one there and one there. Okay. What have you said? You're too blooming kind. Well, I'll try it. Bless you, thank you. You're all too good, that's the thing. I just heard my name and Mark was really talking football. Tell him football's not allowed to be spoken about until Saturday, until Friday when the next game is. We're on a ban now. Or that's what at least I've told Darren. Okay, so let's just do a little recap. We have my cute little snails. So this little project here, I shared yesterday on my blog. And I've used these Scalloped, what are they called? Scalloped contour dies to create it. I've used these dies here. So I've started with 2 die cuts, cut from basic white thick cardstock. And that die I've created my card with, and I've created the lid of my box and then built around it. Okay. So what I wanted to do was show, I've had a lot of people ask, how did you make it? Is there a video? There wasn't, because I didn't think anyone would kind of be too bothered. So now I filmed it as a live. I'll upload it to my YouTube channel. But of course I've used the snails because they are sliding away at the end of today and you can no longer buy them. So if they're on your wish list and you really want them, please buy them before 11 o'clock tonight, because you won't be able to get them after that. Okay. But I promised you all a little surprise before, if you stayed till the end. So my little surprise, there are 2 surprises. One is this, and one is this. I can only show you the front of the catalogue. I cannot show you behind. I cannot show you inside. I can show you the front. So this is it says July, it's actually August. They put it back a month, and thank goodness they did. So this is the July to December mini catalogue. It goes, the August to December mini catalogue. It goes live on the 2nd of August. Yep, it's the 2nd. And it is stunning. You will love it. There's something for everybody. It covers Halloween, autumn, Christmas, New Year, harvest, all of it. But not just that, we have another celebration coming. For those of you that don't know what celebration is, it is a promotion that Stampin' Up used to do once a year. They now do it twice a year. And the idea of celebration is for every £45 you spend, you can choose a free item from this little catalogue. Okay? And if you like cute things, you might just love it. So I'm ordering these tomorrow. So if you're on my mailing list, if you've shopped with me within the last 6 months, you will get one automatically sent to you. If you would like a copy and you're not on my mailing list, please send me your address and I will add you to it and you'll get one as well. They'll be coming out kind of mid to the end of July. And you'll love it. There's also a joining deal coming as well, so watch this space. That's it from me tonight, guys. I hope you've enjoyed my little live. Say a big farewell to our beautiful little snails. Bye-bye, snails. And I will see you all again on Sunday evening at 8:30 if you can join me. In the meantime, if you've got any questions, comments, just want to say hi, I'd love to hear from you. So that's it. I'm off now to watch Love Island. Yes, I do love Love Island. And go to bed. So thanks all. Have a great day, everyone, and I'll see you all Sunday. Thanks for joining me. Bye for now.